Good afternoon. Today I decided I would do a voiceover instead, and it's the first time I'm doing this, so it may not be perfect, but I'll do my best to try and cover my thoughts and what I have planned for the week ahead. Today is Sunday, the 21st of May 2023, and as I pointed out on my previous video, I realized I've been following somewhat of an incorrect chart. Not necessarily incorrect, but I've been using the continuous futures contracts of ES instead of the specific one for the month of June. So here I am just clearing the previous one. I was just removing the ES, the continuous one, and now starting over with the actual continuous contract for June, which again I think should be expiring on the 15th of June 2023. Firstly, I decided to start from the monthly chart. I know I could go a little bit higher than that, but I personally prefer starting from the monthly unless I was dealing with a forex or currency pair. Right now I'm just noting the buy side liquidity from the monthly. From here onwards, I will now be speeding up the video for the sake of a quicker or a shorter narration of my thought process. I'm just going to highlight a few PD arrays going down from a higher time frame all the way till I believe the 1 hour, and I think for the case of YM I went down to 30 minutes. But as noted here, the weekly volume imbalance that we were targeting from Wednesday was tapped into, and I believe that we might be feeling this weekly volume imbalance. And if we don't feel the weekly volume imbalance, we still have this daily buy side liquidity on the left side of the chart right now, and I think we might be using that to propel higher. Why I labeled that rectangle as a fair value gap and a market structure shift is because of the market structure shift on the left side of it, and I think that was the last straw, if you would, for price to push higher. I know the seasonal tendency for May is for lower prices, but I believe that certain premium arrays were significant, were important for them to be satisfied before we can go lower. And I still think we may be able to see lower prices as we head into the middle of June. So I'm just noting a few PD arrays as well on the daily. Everything should be as clear as it is on the chart. We have our volume imbalances, we have our pieces, which is our buy side inefficiency, fair value gaps, and market structure shifts. On the 1 hour and the 4 hour chart, we can see a clear order block, either with those 3 candlesticks or with the last one at the bottom where the explosive move to the upside happened. And I decided to note that as well while I jump to the other 2 charts. On NQ we have a massive CB, a massive fair value gap right there within a monthly buy side liquidity, and I think we might be able to take out that buy side liquidity within the week. We of course have completely covered the liquidity void and the volume imbalance at the lower level, because Nasdaq, as we know, had a more energetic move to the upside as compared to the other 2 averages. But It may be the most volatile for last week, but I think that was just for a reason. I think that was purely to take out the weekly buy side liquidity. And at the moment, I'm still looking for the same directional bias even on the daily chart, because we have multiple confluences around that same level before price shot up. We have a fair value gap, we have the volume imbalance top, we have, I believe, some new week opening gaps in that area as well, but the most important for me was the market structure shift that was caused in a lower time frame along with a fair value gap for further up price. I'll be looking for buy positions or long positions from that level as long as we don't take out the monthly buy side liquidity. But immediately we do take out that monthly buy side liquidity, I will be looking for shorts. Of course, price may push higher before those shorts form, but that's what I'll be looking for. Of course, I'm not going to be in denial of this order block right here at current price, because I expect anything to happen at the end of the day. Moving on to Dow, we have a somewhat different picture because we have not taken out that buy side liquidity and we've been playing around a massive weekly fair value gap as shown here. We've been making essentially lower highs throughout the week as opposed to the ranging market that the other two averages have. But I still think if we are looking for higher prices, we may be able to see this this daily volume imbalance objective tapped into, along with the daily buy side liquidity. I'm just now scanning through the three of them, and I'm noticing that it was previously making lower lows and then now finally making lower highs, while the other two has been making lower highs the whole time. So this might be a potential shift of market structure, and we may see that tap into the volume imbalance. We might not be able to take out the buy side liquidity, but I'm keeping an eye out on it throughout this week. We have this fair value gap, which is within an order block and a market structure shift in a lower time frame, so that might be a potential entry for long positions. I just thought I should point that out as well, especially knowing how volatile the Dow can be. And that's all I have for the week. I'm looking for longs on the ES.